again why they call it a Gordie Howe hat trick when he only notched 2 of them in his career? Well, it is a noteworthy feat, and after all, Gordie Howe is one of the biggest GOATs in NHL history. Come on, Rick Tocchet got 18 in his playing days and Brendan Shanahan got 17. Call it that. It doesn't roll off the tongue as easily, you have to admit. Everybody's hands go up, way up, as the Nashville Predators defeat the San Jose Sharks by a score of 5-1 inside Bridgestone Arena on Saturday night. On a night when the Preds went 2 for 5 on the power play, got their share of complimentary secondary scoring from other people other than the first line. 31 saves by UC Saros, a solid start by him. The Preds treated the San Jose Sharks like the inferior, winless team that they are. Now, if the number 1 line of this team can string 2 or 3 games together of consistent scoring, this team might be scary good further into the season. First Saturday night home game of the season for the Preds, where Sam Fagemo makes his debut for the Preds since being claimed off of waivers during the preseason from the LA Kings. Fagemo is wearing David Legwand's old number 11 in this game. And yeah, I know a certain player on the other team for the Sharks used to wear number 11 in between that, but I'll always think of Legwand, whether or not his number ever gets retired by the Preds, as being the one who really made number 11 mean something for this franchise. Coming into this game, the Preds also made another waiver claim this day of Saturday, claiming Liam Foudy off of waivers, a former first-round pick of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Considering all of the injuries to the Preds right now, with Luke Schenn and Cody Glass, we'll see if Liam Foudy gets a chance in the lineup to see what he's got to help this team before players return from injury. As for the game, slow start for both teams to get their feet under them. The Sharks are a winless bunch, and the Preds are trying to get some consistency going after a huge win on Thursday in the Big Apple. Fagemo with a great chance about 5 minutes into the game, but he can't corral the puck in time before Mackenzie Blackwood is able to get over and make the save, escaping danger. During the first TV timeout, there was a tribute video. But, you know, the Preds belly feed went to commercial, and I'm wondering, oh, who's this, as I read up on Twitter? It was a combination tribute video for Luke Cunnin and Matt Benning. Okay, I totally would have been okay if they hadn't gotten one. Not that they weren't positive contributors when they played on a team, but okay, thank you for your time with the Preds. Just over 8 minutes into the first period, Roman Josi with a great chance gets it over to Luke Evangelista, but he can't beat Blackwood. Pretty sluggish, sleepy even first period until about 5 minutes left to go in the first period, when there's a delay of game penalty. And it's on who you wouldn't think, Mackenzie Blackwood. Did he cover the puck outside the trapezoid? No. He picked up the puck and didn't play it out, and the refs called him for it. It's a penalty by the book, not always called, but hey, it is a penalty, and it's legit, and the Preds go to the ensuing power play. It takes almost the entire duration of the penalty for something exciting or noteworthy to happen. Gustav Nyquist, just before 15 seconds left to go in the man advantage for the Preds, gets it back to the new kid in town, number 11, Sam Fagemo, who takes a blast from the point, beats Mackenzie Blackwood. It's in the net. Preds open the scoring 1-0. Late interference call on Juuso Parssinen, putting the Sharks on the power play, but the Preds would not let them score. By the time the intermission horn sounded, the penalty would carry over to the second period. Preds still maintaining their 1-0 lead. Preds kill off the remainder of Parssinen's penalty to start the second period, and that momentum would carry the Preds a little further not that long after. Just about 2 minutes in, Keither Sherwood just inside the blue line, finds a wide open passing lane the San Jose Sharks do not cover and gets the puck up to number 82, the year I was born, Tommy Novak, who taps it home past Blackwood. Preds are now up 2-0. Oh, but Preds fans in attendance cannot take their seats and catch their breath. Neither can ones watching at home around the world, because not even 15 seconds later, that same line keeps rolling, because from the sideboard, Luke Evangelista gets it wide open in front of the Sharks net too. The man who set up the 2-0 goal is the recipient of the 3-0 goal. Keith Sherwood beats Blackwood. Preds, in a matter of seconds, are now up 3-0. Sharks coach Dan Quinn calls a timeout, trying to settle down his boys and get them back into this game, but the floodgates seemingly start to open wide for the Preds as the Sharks take another penalty shortly after that timeout. And though they don't score, about 9 minutes into the second period, former Pred Luke Cunnin says to a guy, "Hey, let me help you out, Keith Sherwood. You have a goal and an assist. How would you like to complete the Gordie Howe hat trick?" And Keither drops the gloves and like, "Okay, I'll help a guy out. It's not going to turn the momentum of this game." And the two get into a scrap that doesn't last very long. But it seems to only fire up the Preds more rather than the Sharks. So yes, for those who didn't realize, that's a Gordie Howe hat trick of 1 goal, 1 assist, and a fight. That's got to be the fastest one in franchise history. It was technically a natural Gordie Howe hat trick because there was no scoring by anybody else in the midst of it. And it's the 3rd Gordie Howe hat trick in franchise history. Former Pred Luke Cunnin, who now plays for the Sharks in this game, and former Pred Tanner Jeannot both recorded one during the 2021-2022 season. At the conclusion of Keith Sherwood's 5-minute penalty, the Bridgestone faithful give him a round of applause for completing the Gordie Howe hat trick. No more scoring is done by the Preds. Fortunately, there's no Sharks scoring to report, and the Preds seem to have this game in hand, up 3-0 after 2. 20 minutes remaining in this one. Preds seemingly have the game in hand, not wanting to let the Sharks off of the mat. One thing I haven't mentioned thus far in this Preds fan reaction video is that through 2 periods, the Sharks were out shooting the Preds. So yeah, you want to keep the foot down on the pedal so you don't give the Sharks any momentum at all that could let them slip back in. Sharks do like taking those delay of game penalties though, because they would take another one, and on this one, Tommy Novak would capitalize, getting his 2nd of the game. Preds in cruise control now, up 4-0. Funny moment in this game with the Preds having the game in firm control. That was pointed out in the moment, and then they had to go back and show the replay by Willie and Seamace on the Preds Valley broadcast, that the refs and the linesmen completely missed too many men on the ice for the Preds. And it wasn't even incidental. It's not as if they were close to the bench, maybe trying to get off in time, getting off, and maybe there was a miscommunication. There was 6 Preds deep in their own defensive zone, and the refs didn't call it. Oh my God. Against a better team, that would have cost the Preds dearly, but this is the Sharks. But what did I mention at the beginning of this period with the Preds being outshot by the Sharks? The Sharks would finally get a measure of revenge, not on the scoreboard overall, but with their work, with a lucky bounce off the backboard. Thomas Hertl is completely untouched. Saros has no chance, and the Sharks spoil UC's shutout, the score cut down to 4-1. But with about 6.5 left to go in regulation, the Preds would restore for good that 4-goal lead. In a callback to a couple seasons, playoffs gone by, no, it wasn't against the Sharks, it was against the Carolina Hurricanes, but a man on the opposing team was the one who scored it back then. Luke Cunnin could watch as Preds equipment manager Pete Rogers helps out Luke Evangelista after he breaks his stick. He skates by the bench, grabs a new one, set up for him by Pete Rogers, and Dante Fabro finds a wide open passing lane to Evangelista. He's in on goal on a breakaway on Mackenzie Blackwood, who's somehow still in net, and he holds up and he digs out Blackwood while falling. It's in the net. The Preds have restored their 5-1 4-goal lead. That's Evangelista's first goal of the season. You know, after the great start he had last year, he's been working his butt off to finally get a goal, and it finally pays off in this game. That's all there is really to say in this one. The Preds would eventually outshoot the Sharks for the game because they had such a commanding third period over them, and they win this one going away by a final score of 5-1. Back-to-back 60-minute efforts. One against a good team in the league, one against a bad team. I can't complain about that. Secondary scoring through 6 games this season, really starting to find a groove. Really complements Coach Bruno's system, I think. 6 games into the season, this team is at NHL 500. Can't complain about that. Considering where we thought this team might be for the long run, this is a pretty good start. Now, 2 full days off before you play the Canucks, who come to town on Tuesday, and then 3 full days off before you play the Leafs next Saturday on Hockey Night in Canada in prime time. These are games, at least for me as a Canadian Preds fan, that I want you to put your big boy pants on and show up big. Exhaustion should not be an issue with that extra rest between these 2 games and this game on Saturday night. And I insist, I would not be against Kevin Lankinen getting one of these 2 starts. So for the season as a whole, you don't run UC tired. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption. And all even with your overall record in the standings now, Preds. Let's work next week on getting above it and possibly staying there.